Immortals is a team of Brazilian players that are on the come up currently in North America, but these guys failed to qualify for CEVO Season 9's finals. These guys failed to qualify for DreamHack Austin 2016, and they also failed to qualify for MLG Columbus 2016. So, just how did these guys manage to beat NiP, one of the best teams in the world, in a grand final this past weekend at DreamHack? Well, if I know, but let's find out. So for a very brief rundown of some of the recent events and a little bit of a bio of Immortals, they are currently 8-4 on Cash and 11-4 on LAN. For Cobblestone, they are 4-4 on Mirage, so a bit of a 50-50 split right there. They were just recently picked up by Immortals from the Tempo Storm organization, and they lost Peacemaker, their coach, to Team Liquid, where he was replaced by Zach once they joined Immortals. Immortals, like the second place team NiP in this tournament, struggled their way out of groups, coming out in second, though. They did lose their first matchup to SK 13-16, won their next matchup 2-0, and then playing SK again, were only able to win 2-1 in a pretty close series. So if we reference back to the stats that I gave before they got into groups, they are currently 1-1 on Mirage, in which overall they're 4-4, and they've had Cash banned out against them every single time. Coming into bracket play, we have Immortals facing off against Godsend, of whom was number 1 in their groups, and they're going to win the first map 16-12 on Cash, which big mistake from Godsend letting that one slip through, because that is Immortals' best map at the moment alongside Cobblestone. Then, next up, they're going to lose Mirage and then close it out 16-8 on Train in Game 3. This was the first time they got to play Cash this tournament. Now, as we get into the grand finals, Overpass, Dust2, and Nuke will find their ways banned out of this series, and Cash actually gets picked by NiP. And it's interesting because Overpass, Dust2, and Train are statistically the best options for NiP going into this matchup, but they actually chose Cash, which historically has been Immortals/Tempo Storm's best map. Throughout this series, we saw a positive ratio in entry fragging coming from Phelps. Some of his best efforts went towards this series, but that second map, Mirage, was a bit of a roller coaster ride for anyone in the corner of Immortals. After what looked to be a very disappointing finish in the grand finals from NiP with a 13-3 lead coming from Immortals, the NiP snowball started rolling as Forrest and Get Right went Super Saiyan with their rifle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Super Saiyans don't use guns, but just follow my analogy for a second, because 10 straight rounds coming from NiP, it doesn't matter what they're using, because that's pretty impressive. Eventually, it all comes to a screeching halt after IMT hits a 2v2 retake, and they finally close out the match a couple rounds later. Now, again, in this series, I have to give a huge shout out to a lot of N1's pushes and peaks, as well as Phelps' fragging power in this series, which was a huge integral factor in the fact that IMT was able to take down NiP in these grand finals. Immortals has proven again this weekend that Brazilians are here to stay in professional Counter-Strike by upsetting one of the strongest teams in the world in the form of Ninjas in Pajamas. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you believe this team is overrated, or do you think that this is the start of one of the best teams in the world? This has been FPS Breakdown. You're watching Esports on PvP Live.